Today's cup of coffee, we're going to be discussing premonitions and or harbingers, and these can be things that occur before another event does. What I'm going to tell you is probably, I don't really know which category that it falls into. I do thank Joe because he is going to send us a couple of stories in the next day or so, so we'll have other videos from his experience coming up for us. In 2014, I had to temporarily relocate down to Tennessee and was staying with this girl, and she had children. And so she was going to go out for the weekend. She had taken the children to relatives so that they could stay. And I went to bed and woke up at some point, was awakened, I will say that, by the sound of knocking. There were three loud raps on the door. And so here I am half asleep, and I'm thinking, all right, she probably forgot her key or something like that. And as I reach for the doorknob, this inner voice says, "You're not home, look out the peephole." And so I did look out the peephole, and there was no one there. And so I did not open the door. I went back to bed. And the next day I asked her, I'm like, this happened. Did you have anything? And she's like, no. She was just totally confused by the whole thing. She didn't do spooky very well. But what happened a couple of days later was that a family friend of ours passed. Suddenly he died. And I'm like, oh, that's what the knocking was warning me about. And since then, there's been a couple of other times. I'm trying to remember right now if there was any death that was close to the knocking. It's not coming to mind right now. That doesn't mean that it didn't happen, but it makes you kind of nervous. It makes you pray real quick when you hear, knocks coming from someplace that you don't know. So I'm sure that there's other premonitions that you all have experienced it. Even if it's a matter of sitting there thinking, I think the phone's going to ring, and then the phone does ring. So that's where you get into that interesting time-space continuum type thing where things overlap. But I will tell you, I have researched since then, and from other people who've had these experiences, they say when you hear knocking on the door, if you look out and there's no one there, do not open the door, because that very well could be letting something in that you don't want in. So yeah, I always look through the peephole. Be sure of that. Send me your paranormal experiences, supernatural experiences, spooky stories that you know, someone else may have known, legends in the area that you are. Send those to cupofcoffeewithscream at gmail.com. And if you just want someone to listen to you, that's perfectly fine. If you would like to have a video made of your account, be glad to do that. I think that the sharing of these things makes us feel not so alone, because these things can make you feel very isolated and you think that you're the only one that these things have happened to. You're not. No, it's actually a lot more common than people think that it is. It's common. That's why we're talking about it, is to break down that stigma that the paranormal, the supernatural, all that is real. It's just on a frequency that we can't see. We can't see ultraviolet, but it's there. So you all have a beautiful, blessed day.